Hi everybody, my name is Johanna Anderson and I'm a subject librarian at the University of Gloucestershire and I look after natural and social sciences. I'm just here to talk to you quickly about the difficulties that librarians have been facing in providing ebook access to you during the pandemic, and to tell you a little bit about what we've been doing about it and also to request your help. We really need to get the student voice out there to help us fight for a better deal for you. And I'm going to start off a little bit by telling you a little bit about what the situation is, so what the fuss is all about. Only 10% of academic titles are available to universities in electronic format. So lots of publishers have got a policy of not making their key textbooks available to universities because they're concerned that it will cannibalize their direct to student sales. You may ask why there are so few library ebooks when you see these titles for sale on Amazon Kindle. And that's because libraries can't buy ebooks in the same way that individual consumers can. So ebooks are licensed to us, we can't buy them. They're often at much greater cost than the hard copy, much greater cost than the prices that you'll see on Amazon and the like. And there are often license restrictions applied to them. This is annoying enough at normal times, but when COVID struck, libraries were closed and students became reliant on ebooks in order to study remotely. The real scandalous bit is that early in 2020, the big academic publishers raised their ebook prices extortionately, and they restricted the licenses terms and conditions. They restricted the license term and conditions so that even the books that were available in ebook format, libraries couldn't buy them. Some examples for you are, and this is becoming the norm, there is this book on how to write a thesis, and it is £21 in print format, but for libraries to pay for it, it is £455 per year. So we have to pay for it again when the year is out for a single user license. So that means one person can use the book at any one time. This is a 2,048% increase on the cost of the print book, and that's just for a year's access. And this is essentially like publishers coming into the library, gathering all of our hard copy books off the shelves that we've already paid for and saying to us, you can only have these books back if you pay us for them again. That's not acceptable for the hard copy books. Why is that acceptable for ebooks? Here's another example. So the Stage Manager's Toolkit, this book is available for £29.99 in hard copy, but for a single user ebook for 1 year, it's £576. When the COVID pandemic first started, several big publishers, to great fanfare, made their content, their ebook content, freely available to university libraries, which was very welcomed. But what few people knew is that this access was withdrawn the June of that year. So while the pandemic was still going on, while our students still needed to access books, that content was withdrawn. And publishers said to us, you can only buy them if you pay these extortionate costs, or they were bundling them into packages that were really, really expensive. So we could only access these titles if we signed up to these big expensive platforms. And in order to make sense of that, if you're not sure what I'm talking about, imagine if you went into Waterstones, there was a book on the shelf and you took it to the checkout, and the person at the till said, that's fine, you can buy this book, but you have to buy all of the other books in the on the shelves as well in order to access it. Again, that's not acceptable. This is happening globally. It's not just happening in the UK. And here's an example of a librarian at Harvard Library saying that the summer of free, where publishers gave access, has turned out into outright non-sales or pricing that's so exorbitant there's no way that libraries can pay. So we just can't afford these books. So what did we do about it? Librarians took some action, and led by me, we started a campaign calling for an investigation into the ebook market, and because publishers weren't listening to our complaints. To date, an unprecedented 4,000 people sector-wide has signed an open letter that we sent to the Education Select Committee asking them to intervene and investigate, which was a massively, that was a big achievement for us. We have collected examples on Google spreadsheets. It's a crowdsourced spreadsheet with librarians across the UK who were crowdsourcing examples of the challenges that they faced, and the data was really shocking. Some of these prices were really shocking. The media started to take notice, and because COVID was a big issue, students were struggling to study at home. There was a lot of dialogue in the press about students asking for refunds on their tuition fees because they felt like they weren't getting the full university experience. Meanwhile, the costs to universities were rocketing in order to provide resources to students who were studying at home. So there's a headline in The Guardian about price gouging, student ebooks costing 400% more than in print. We were in the BBC, we were in the Times Higher, 1KG, and we even trended on Reddit. So we were getting a lot of attention from the media. The Education Select Committee sadly came back to us and said that they were too busy to investigate the market. And we haven't given up with them. We're going to keep persisting, but we raised the issue with the Competition and Market Authority to see if they could intervene, and they've been very interested in the case, and we're hoping that they will take it forward for us, but we have to wait and see. The University of East Anglia students started a campaign to support us, which has been really positive, and there's been quite a bit of international collaboration because, as I said, this has been happening internationally. But what we really need is student voices. We haven't had as many student voices as we'd have liked, and it's mainly because I think students had so much to deal with, which is completely understandable. It's been a horrendous year. A lot of people don't know this is going on, and we feel that the Education Select Committee and the Markets Authority are more likely to listen to us if we have the student voices on board. We are fighting really hard for you to get better deals for you, because we think that it's absolutely outrageous that public money and your tuition fees are being spent on ridiculously priced ebooks for unsustainable packages, and you still can't access them because the licenses are so restrictive. So we would like you to ask your friends and family and your course mates to sign an open letter. I provide a link attached to this presentation so you can access it, and to use a template letter that we've provided to write to your MP to raise this issue with the HE Minister. The student voice is all important on this, and together we might be able to fight for change. So I want to thank you for listening, and my contact details at the beginning of this presentation, so please get in touch if you want any more information or you want to know how you can help this campaign further. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.